Hi there, I'm Linda and this is Huttons Valley Permaculture. I'm up here on my top swale today as I'd like to plant this pepino, which was a gift from a friend. It got me thinking how wonderful plants are as gifts and how easy it is to share the abundance of your garden for Christmas or for any occasion really. I met this particular friend at one of my permaculture groups and we do get together fairly often. And she's always very generous with little plants that she's sort of dug up from her own garden. I do have a second pepino just here that she also gave me, and I found that underneath the canopy of this acacia tree is a perfect spot for protecting these little plants during winter and helping to get them established. Now, I've found with the permaculture groups, we have little swap groups and people will often bring plants and you can get some really unusual things shared at those groups. Not only plants, but also seeds, which is just as valuable, really. All right, now just a little bit of mulch around that and with just a little bit of watering now, hopefully this pepino will be as happy here as the other one has been. There's actually quite a lot of plants around my property that have been gifted to me by friends. In fact, when friends come down to visit, I encourage them to bring cuttings from their garden instead of food, which I have in abundance here. Accepting beautiful plant gifts from friends means you can really diversify your garden and you often get surprises as well. These 4 plants here were all gifted to me. This one I thought was going to be a ground cover, but it turned out to be quite large with beautiful purple flowers. This is a lovely yellow daisy. The plant at the back here, as sedum, has these gorgeous pink flowers, as to this little plant at the back here, which actually needs to get a little bit more room. This plant here took over more than I expected. These grapevines that are just starting to make their way up this trellis were gifted to me as sticks. Well, they looked like sticks, but they were cuttings that came alive once added to a bit of water and soil. This plant here was gifted to me for my birthday last year and it's found its roots and is starting to put on some good growth. It's a waratah, so hopefully one day soon we'll get beautiful big red flowers and it'll make me think of my lovely friend Rachel who gave it to me. The wonderful thing about receiving plants as gifts is that they're very giving year after year, and it always makes me think fondly of that friend who gifted it to me. Gardens are very giving if you let them be. Letting plants go to seed and saving that seed means you can grow plants not only for yourself, but also for giving. Just here I've got my seedling raising zone. It's a really great spot because there's north light that comes in and it's right near the kitchen window, so I always remember they're here to give them a bit of love when needed. Here I've got lots of basil that I've raised from my seeds. There's 4 different types actually, and what I've done as a gift for that is actually just pot some of them up. I've got 3 different varieties in there at the moment. There's the sweet basil, cinnamon basil and tulsi. I am going to add in a 4th variety, which is a purple basil, which isn't actually looking very purple, so we'll see how we go with that. But it's just going to be a lovely little pot that I'm going to give for Christmas gifts. And in this pot, I've just potted up 2 of my zinnia plants. I've added a lot of zinnia into my front garden, but saved 2 of the seedlings. Hopefully that one turns out okay. 2 of the seedlings to pot up to give to a friend for Christmas. Now, things like zinnias, if you're growing them in your garden, even the flowers from these plants make beautiful gifts. And I've gifted for Mother's Day and birthdays the beautiful flowers that come in sort of autumn. But I'm hoping that these will provide some beautiful colour in my friend's garden. If you're a veggie grower, then maybe you could just pot up your excess seedlings. Here I've got tomatoes and capsicums, which I could pot those up and gift them. Or right here, I've got an excess of sweet potato plants. So they would make a beautiful gift for someone who grows their own veggies as well. Herbs are also a fantastic thing to pot up and give to friends. Here is some spearmint. I had to clear an area and I pulled out lots of these plants. So I've potted those ones up and they'd be beautiful as a gift. And likewise oregano. This plant here, I just potted up from a plant that I pulled up. It was actually just growing across my pavers and the little roots were trying to find a home there. But I pulled it out and put it into this pot and it's just growing beautifully. Now, like the spearmint, I've got chocolate mint here, which roots into the ground everywhere it goes, and it's just a matter of digging up some plants and putting that in a pot, and you've got a beautiful fragrance mint to share with a friend. Another plant that has an amazing fragrance is this pineapple sage, and I've noticed that as it's growing during this season, there's lots of shoots along the ground that have got roots. So once again, an amazing opportunity to share the beauty that is this pineapple sage. Little birds just adore these red flowers. Plants like rhubarb are fantastic to give as gifts. All you need to do is dig up some of the plant, take what they call a crown and pot it up, and it's ready to go. For some plants, it does take a little bit more planning to get them ready to go. With rosemary, you can just take cuttings, put that into water, and give it a few weeks, and it should start to grow roots on that, and then you can pot that up, and it would be perfect as a gift as well. Just below the rosemary is my beautiful Pacific blue iris. Now this was gifted to me, but it's grown so large that now that it's finished flowering, I should be able to dig up small plants of that, pot that up, and that would be a super present for somebody's birthday. And to divide this plant, all you need to do is sort of dig up that little clump there. You could dig up those. That could actually probably make 2 plants, but I'd turn that into 1. But this plant here could make lots of different plants. And I've got plenty more up here. I do have to do a little bit of weeding and make sure that chocolate mint's out the way as well. I've got lots of elderberry around the property, and when I need to trim some, I'm always throwing it into a bucket of water, just like I've suggested with the rosemary, so that it can develop roots, and I generally spread that through the property, but I'm sure friends would love that as a gift. Last year, as a gift, I actually removed one of these little side plants from my elkhorn, and using a piece of timber that I cut off a log, I attached that and then gifted that to one of my friends. Having a permaculture mindset means that you can see abundance or the potential for abundance everywhere. Over the last couple of years, I've gathered some of the kernels from the peaches, nectarines and plums that I've enjoyed, and I've planted them, and it's resulted in quite a number of these stone fruit plants, which would be perfect for somebody, a friend or family member who has got room for another tree in their backyard. And another thing that I've been trying is to grow some blueberries from cuttings. I don't know how successful that will be, but I'm giving that a go. And something that's really easy to grow from cuttings is black currants and red currants. They grow very easily. I also dig up volunteer plants. This one is a hollyhock. There's actually quite a number of plants in there that I could pot up, but in the front vegetable garden I've got hollyhock that self-seeds, nasturtium of course, but I've also got some zinnias that are coming just on their own, which you could dig up and share with friends. Just here I've got a little strawberry runner, which is how I started my strawberry beds. A friend gave me 50 of these little strawberry runners, and now I've just got masses of strawberries. So it's just amazing the abundance that gardens can bring. I'm getting in the habit of always multiplying the plants that I grow, whether it's from seed or from cuttings, because when you've got them there, it's easy to share or easy to give as gifts. And if they don't go to somebody else, well, I'll usually find a nice home here for them instead. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Thanks so much for watching, and bye for now.